The March jobs report brought more blockbuster news today for the U.S. economy and the president's economic policies. 303,000 net jobs were added to the economy, pushing unemployment down slightly to 3.8%. Wages also continue to rise. They're now up over 4% from where they were this time last year. This is now the 39th straight month of job growth. Unemployment has remained under 4% for 26 straight months. The March jobs report beat expectations by 100,000 jobs. All good news for a president running for re-election. The fastest growing industries this month, healthcare, government, hospitality, and construction, have consistently led job growth in the post-pandemic comeback. The numbers were so good, even President Biden's harshest critics on Fox were forced to admit it.
Your reaction to this jobs report?
Very good, Maria. The household employment was actually up almost 500,000. The unemployment rate fell. The work week was stable. It looks really good right now. It's a good number, no question.
Well, it's a good number, but is it too good for rate cuts?
Today's good jobs number is a direct rebuke to the false narrative that Fox is trying to sell its viewers. Many of us would like interest rate cuts, but jobs are the bedrock of an economy. The normal human response is to celebrate job creation, not to warn against it. Last night, during its most unhinged primetime hour, the network brought on former Trump administration official and current Fox Business host Larry Kudlow for a segment that simultaneously lied about the strength of the Biden economy while also managing to denigrate migrants. We're not going to replay those lies, but the visual speaks for itself. Today, the president released a statement that read in part, 3 years ago, I inherited an economy on the brink. With today's report of 303,000 new jobs in March, we have passed the milestone of 15 million jobs created since I took office. Unemployment has been under 4% for the longest stretch in more than 50 years. Wages are going up. Inflation has come down significantly. We've come a long way, but I won't stop fighting for hardworking families. Joining us now, Robert Reich, a professor of public policy at the University of California at Berkeley. And importantly for this conversation, he was the Secretary of Labor for the Clinton administration. Bob, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. I want to quote, I don't do this often, but I want to quote from a Goldman Sachs report, which says, the U.S. economy doesn't have to choose between strong growth and cooler inflation. We can have both. Why? Immigration. Catherine Rampell, that was her commentary on the Goldman report therein. This immigration conversation is relevant to why this economy is going the way it's going.
Undoubtedly it is, Ari, and I watched your last segment. Immigrants are not only important to the economy in terms of an aging economy, providing the jobs that and the people we need for these jobs, but also it gives us a cushion against wages pushing against prices and causing inflation. One of the reasons that we have had a soft landing, and I do think we have had a soft landing, is because of the combination of Biden's investments in infrastructure and other major public goods. At the same time, we've also had a lot of immigrants, and that's been a golden combination for this economy.
Right. It's a very tough thing, as you know, as a former labor secretary, to achieve, because you can't super control the economy that way. But the idea that there are jobs for people, that the wages in those jobs go up at a rate that's higher than inflation. Those people have money. They spend it creating business activity, creating economic activity without out of control inflation. That's a very hard soup to mix.
It's very, very hard. I think that we are on the way, now I hope I don't have to eat these words, to repealing the business cycle. I mean, the combination of what the Fed has done in terms of raising interest rates in a way that fights inflation, combined with major public investments that the Biden administration has made, and immigration, seems to be the formula. And maybe it means we don't have to worry as much about inflation or recession.
Bob, I want to put up a screen that shows the jobs created by industry. Healthcare is the largest one. That's been very typical for many years now. We have growth in healthcare workers, government, leisure and hospitality, construction, retail, other services. I want to just, because you and I have to be able to look back at these things over the years that we've talked, ask you, what's the weak spot in the type of jobs being created? When we have good numbers, we then start to have to think about quality. What's your take on the quality of jobs being created?
Well, until recently, jobs were not generating very much wage growth, particularly when you considered inflation. Inflation was taking away whatever wage growth we had. But more recently, we find that wages are growing higher and faster than inflation. Inflation is way down, wages are starting to come up. And this is really why consumer sentiment is starting to look as good as it is. Now, in the political context, the question is, do we have a formula that will, over the next 7 months, get enough people thinking that the economy is good enough to reelect Joe Biden? I think the chances are very good.
What do you worry about in the upcoming months? I know the stock market's done well today. Unusual for a stock market to end higher on a day when unemployment is lower and job creation, because sometimes investors think that means higher wages and that means more inflation. The Fed's trying to figure out what to do. They signaled at one point they're going to cut rates maybe 3 times this year. Market isn't sure that's going to happen. What's your sense?
Well, I hope the Fed does cut rates because keeping rates very high at a time like this, when people still are confronting a housing market where mortgages are very expensive, car loans are very expensive, a lot of the big purchase items, because interest rates are very high, are very, very high and very difficult for people. So I hope the Fed does begin to respond to the good news, but also the lower inflation. I think this is a big deal. The Fed has and deserves credit, as does the Biden administration, for this, quote, soft landing. But I think the Fed can do more and should do more, certainly over the next 6 or 7 months.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.